everybody, I'm Corinne Blackstone and welcome to my craft room. I'm so happy to have you here today. Before we get started, be sure that you're subscribed here on YouTube. That way you don't miss out on any fun crafty content we have coming. Now in today's tutorial, this is a really fun one. I did this a couple of years ago, but I wanted to update it with the new Cricut Design Space updates. And I feel like a lot of people missed it because it was kind of in the throes of holiday season. So this one is really fun. It's a fun way to make place cards that you can use for different events, really any time of year. They're really fun. You can use these for weddings. You can use them for Thanksgiving, Christmas, just for fun. Maybe you've got students in your class. And I'm going to show you a couple of different ways to make these. We're going to do one that has like a layered cardstock design, one that's just a simple cutout, and then we're going to do one that has a letter. I'll also show you how to add some writing to these, and they're really easy. All you really need is some cardstock and some glue and a Cricut pen, and you can make these. So without further ado, let's get started. Making these fun little designs is so easy. I promise you, anybody can do this. Now I'm going to be doing this in the beta version of Design Space, which may or may not be the same as the live when this video comes out, but I wanted to show it to you in this one because it is a bit different. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to start with a shape. And for this shape, we're just going to use a square. We can turn this into any size shape that we want to, any kind of style, rectangle, whatever. So we're going to start with this. Now, I like to make my little designs or place cards. I like to make them anywhere between about like 4 or 5 inches. I like to have them a little bit bigger, especially so that you guys can see what I'm doing better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unlock this design by using this lock right in the center. And I want to make it 5 inches wide. And I want to then make it about, let's go like 4 inches high, because it's actually going to only sit about as high as half of that, because you're going to be folding this in half. Now I'm going to change the color of this so that we can see what we're working with a lot easier than looking at that gray. So this is basically what you're starting with. You're starting with this rectangle. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get out a score line, which is just this line right here. And I need to rotate this 90 degrees. So I'm just going to turn it to 90. Then I like to take this line, and you want to make it as high, or as wide in this case, as your card. So my card is 5. I'm going to take this, I'm going to select everything. I just draw a line around it. You're going to go up to a line, which is up here at the top, and I want to center it. I want it centered horizontally and vertically, so we're just going to use center. Now, when you see this here, you've got this nice line. Now, I do want to point something out to you. You see how mine has this little red symbol here? And it says that it's not supported by the Joy Extra. It's because my computer defaulted to my Joy. I'm going to change it to the Maker since that's the machine I'm going to use. Now, technically, you cannot score with your Joy, but I do have a video about that, and I'll link it down below for you. So once we have it kind of marked out where we want our center line to be, we can add the designs that we want to use to this. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select this, and I'm going to duplicate it. Now, in order to duplicate this, we're going to right-click on this, and we're going to use the duplicate button right here. Because we're going to make a couple designs, so rather than have to remake the base of it, we're just going to have a duplicated version. Now, you can really use kind of any design that you want, but let's start really simple first. I'm going to go under Images, and I'm going to search for a leaf, because we'll do these for like a fall theme, but do whatever theme you want. Now we'll start super simple. So let's use this little leaf right here. It's like a maple leaf. And for this design, we're going to have this so that it sits up like I showed you at the beginning, because I just want like a little dimension. Now this one is, again, going to be the really simple one. So first thing you'll do, size your leaf down to fit your design. Now you truly can put this anywhere that you want to on your cardstock. So whether you want to put it in the center, whether you want it off to the side, wherever you want your design is absolutely up to you and okay. I kind of like mine to the side a little bit, so that's what I'm going to do. Now for this design, what I want to do is I'm going to add a offset to this. So I'm going to go over to the pencil, click on that, and choose offset. Now I don't want a big offset. I want something quite small because we're going to have this so it just cuts out around our leaf. So a 0.56 is probably okay. You could go a little bit smaller if you wanted to like maybe a 0.5, and I'm going to click apply. Now what you'll see here is that you have your leaf, your offset, and your square. What I want to do from here is I want to slice away the offset from the yellow card because we're going to have that so that we can fold up our leaf. So I'm going to take my leaf. So I want to select the offset and I want to select the card, but you got to make sure you select the right one. I want to select that yellow square. Now, again, you're going to need to go under the pencil to get to slice and click slice, or you can right click here and you'll see that you have a slice option here as well. So we'll just use, it's the same thing. We'll just use whichever. Now there's a few pieces we need to get rid of. We need to get rid of all the gray of the leaf, and we want to get rid of the yellow piece of the leaf. Now you're looking at this going, okay, that's cool, but why is the leaf floating in the middle of the air? Because we still need to reattach the leaf. So I'll zoom in a bit so you can see here. The leaf is obviously not touching right here because this is where we cut the offset from. And you'd have a little piece right here that's going to cut off, but that's okay. It's not going to matter. But what we need to do is reconnect our leaf base to our design so that we're going to be able to fold the leaf up from the base piece. So what you'll do here is you're going to grab a shape. And this really can be kind of any shape that you want, but I find the square to really be the easiest one to work with because we're going to make this thin and we're going to line it up with the leaf base here. But you notice that it keeps kind of like grabbing. This thing is driving me crazy that it's been doing this, and I have yet to find the setting that turns that off because I don't know that it does. So instead, you can use your mouse to kind of like move it around a little bit more evenly. So I'm going to get this lined up where I'm happy. And I think that looks pretty good. You want to make sure that this black piece does not go past your design down here. And you want to make sure that it does connect your orange leaf to your yellow paper. Now what you're going to do is you're going to select the square. You're going to select the leaf, and you're going to select the slice result that is your card. Once you have all three of those selected, you can right click on this right here, and you can use this combine option, and you can either use unite or weld. Weld is permanent, but unite can be undone. So I'm going to use unite just in case something goes wrong. It looks really good. I think it's going to be super cute. And now what I need to do is I need to make sure that this line is on top so I can attach them. So I'm going to right click on this and I'm going to send this to the back. That way this line, which is going to be our fold line, is going to allow us to have that attached. Now we can add writing if we want to this, and it's really easy to do. So let me go ahead and scooch this back over a little bit, and let's use some text, and we're just going to write my name on it because I don't know who else is coming, but apparently it's a party for me. Now I'm going to use a Cricut writing font. So I'm going to go under my Cricut fonts and I'm going to go to this filter option and I'm going to choose writing. Now, once I choose that filter, it's going to bring up fonts that will write nicely when they're set to the writing setting. So you'll see with the pen, you can see that it's going to write my name so that it is, you know, a single line. You can choose whatever font you want for this. Truly up to you. Do you make it how you want. I usually like, if I'm doing something that is more of a dinner party situation, I usually want something that's going to be a little fancier, maybe going to have a little more script font look to it. Maybe we're going to have a Halloween party. We could do something a little creepy. So there's just lots of options, but there's tons of free writing fonts that you can get that are not connected to your Cricut. And I'll give you a list and I'll put that in the comments down below, but we'll just go with one. I'll just kind of find one that looks nice. I don't like a lot of their script fonts because I just don't feel like they flow well. This one's fine. This one will do. Not quite how I would flow it, but it's fine. So we'll make this a little bit bigger and we'll kind of get it where we want it on to our page. And once we're happy with that, you want to make sure that you again attach it. So you want to select everything by drawing that square around them. And then you're going to right click to click on attach, but you can also just use this little guy down here. He's also an option. Not my favorite way to do it, and because my cursor's kind of in the way, but that is your attach option as well. So they've moved that quite a bit. Again, like I said, when this comes out, this may be something we're all very used to, but right now when I'm filming this, it's still a fairly new feature. So once I've got that one done, I'm pretty happy with it. I think that's really cute. We can go ahead and I'm going to hide it just to get it off the screen. Now I'm going to bring this one over, and again, I'm going to go ahead and duplicate, which again, you can do with these little buttons down here, definitely an option, but I like to just have an extra in case something goes wrong or I want to make another one. So now for this one, let's get another image, and for this one, let's look up a turkey and see what we can find. I want kind of something that's got some layers to it. I want something that's got a little bit more work involved so that I can show you how we're going to put this together. I'm going to use this little turkey right here. It's not a ton of pieces, so it's going to be a little bit easier to like kind of make it work for what we want to do. I don't want to have to glue a million pieces, but believe me, if you like to glue lots of cardstock pieces, you can use a fancier turkey. It's going to be the same concept. So the first thing that we need to do is we're going to create an offset, which is going to be what we're going to glue all of our turkey pieces to, because you can see that this guy's kind of floating in the middle of nowhere. He doesn't have anything to necessarily attach to. So we first need to make that offset. So again, we're going to go to the little pen guy and choose the offset. Now for this image, we do want a little bit wider of an offset. It doesn't need to be huge, but you do want it to be a little bit wider than like when we were attaching it to the card. So I'm going to make that and click apply. Now I do want to make sure that my offset is, good to go, looks good. I think it looks fine the way it is. So we're good there. Now I'm going to move my turkey off really quick just to show you it's a nice solid offset. Now, once I have these two pieces, I'm going to go ahead and because it doesn't like to grab things by itself, I'm going to group these together. And to do group, you can go here to this little double square here and you can group them. What that's going to do is it's going to allow us to move these around together without having to worry about grabbing everything. And we're going to be able to resize because we want to resize our little turkey guy to fit onto our card. Now, again, make this however large you want. It's truly up to you. There's no right or wrong way to create. So I'm going to make him, I think about this size is pretty good because I do want him to be pretty big so you can see him, but I don't want him to like be enormous, but I think that's a pretty good size. And I like where I've got him sitting. I think he's, like I said, I prefer them on the side, but you do you. Put them wherever you want. You can put them middle, side, other side, whatever. There's not really a wrong way. So once I have him sort of set where I want, which I think he looks good like this, we are going to create another offset because we need to slice the image out of the card so it's able to like fold up. So what you'll do is you're going to go to your group and you're going to pull the little tab down and I want you to choose your offset. You're going to go to the little tool here and you're going to create a new offset. Now it's hard to see, yes, because it's a little far away. Go ahead, zoom in because that zoom in button is going to be handy. You can also make it bigger, but I prefer to zoom in sometimes. So then I'll do this again where I'm going to add that offset. Now you can see that our 0.83 is going to be way too big of an offset for this. So you can just size this down. You can either use the little slider bar or you can use the numbers. I want to make this one pretty small. So I'm thinking like 0.2 will work fine. Now, one thing I want to kind of show you, like, look how weird this looks. Do you see how it's not like lining up correctly? It looks really strange. I wonder why that is. Who knows, but welcome to Design Space and it's insanity that it is. So maybe we'll make it like 0.22 and see if that helps. Sometimes when they're a little bit small, it can make the offset a little bit odd, but we'll just see if we make it a little bit bigger if that works. I think that's probably okay. It doesn't have to be perfect, but we're going to go ahead and click apply. Now, when you see it here, it looks like it lines up really well, so I'm not super concerned. What we want to do now is take the offset, which is this one right here, and you want to slice it out of the square. So select your offset and your square, and we'll use the slice option over here, but I want to point something out to you. Do you see how I can't use my slice? I've got 2 layers selected, but I can't use slice. Sometimes Cricut Design Space will do this. Even though you have those 2 layers selected, it can't slice because it's not viewing this as a separate layer because it's grouped. So go over here and you can ungroup your design And that way you have the offset completely separate from the rest of your design. And then you should be able to select your square and slice should be available. So if that's ever an issue, I always like to show you that just in case. That way it's grabbing the group and it's not just grabbing the offset. So now I'm going to slice those apart. And again, I'm going to delete all the parts of which I do not need, which are all those pieces of the turkey. And I accidentally got rid of the wrong offset. Now I want to get rid of all the pieces I don't need, which are like these small pieces of this offset and the small slice result. Now again, you're going to have this part where your turkey isn't fully touching your design. So what you want to do is you're going to go into your shapes. You're again going to grab whatever shape you want. I do find a square to be best. And I'm going to make this little rectangle. And what I want to do is I'm going to line this little rectangle up if it will let me grab it. My goodness, I hate this thing so much. I want to grab this little rectangle and I'm just going to line it up with his little feeties. And you can see here that I'm going to be able to take his little feeties and it'll connect everything. Now with this, what you want to do is you're going to take the gray offset, you're going to take your slice result, and you're going to take your square. You're going to unite these. So again, we're going to right click and choose combine and choose unite. Now it's going to look like your turkey disappeared, right? It didn't, I promise. He's just behind your design, so you can just drag him up above it from your other piece. Now what you'll have is a place to glue your cardstock pieces to your card. You'll have your turkey and then you have your little line here, so you can just send this again. You can just right click on this, send this to the back, select everything, and you can unite. Now, one thing I'm going to point out is for whatever reason, I didn't get this lined up very well with this fold. I really like to have the fold right about where the little design is going to come through. If it's not perfectly centered, that's really honestly okay, because it's just a cardstock piece that's like a little tent. So it doesn't have to be exactly perfectly even because you're going to fold it and it's not going to matter. So if it's not perfectly centered, it's fine. Sometimes I mess that up. It's okay. I've gone through all this work and I'm okay with it being slightly not centered. Now what I want to do is, again, I'm going to select the card and I want just this piece. I don't want the turkey. I only want the card and the line, and I need to attach those, which again, I can use the little paper clip. The turkey will cut out separately from that, this brown, the orange, and the red, because you're going to have to attach those with some glue to your little cut out card. But this is going to be really, really cute once you've got it all done. It's going to be absolutely adorable. I think you're going to absolutely love how this comes out. Now, again, you can use any type of image that you want. You can use a letter, and a letter is a really fun one to do. Let me quickly add the text for the name to this one just so we have something cute on it, and then I'm going to show you how to do a letter. So now that we have this one, let's do like a letter, and I'm just going to pick, let's do a B. What we're going to do, so for this, you don't want to use a font like this. It's a writing font. You want to use something that's a little thicker. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to change my font. I'm going to go under my system fonts and I can choose a thicker, heavier font. Now I do recommend doing something that's not quite like this where it's real thin. I want to use something that's like heavier, like that's not going to work. That won't work. This could work. Cooper Black has a good B, but you just sort of use whatever, you know, style you want to use. It's up to you, whatever design you want. This little chubby one's cute, so we'll use this little chubby one. So what I'm going to do, it's the same exact concept. It's so easy to do this. It's so fun. So I'm going to fit this in, and you can honestly, for this one, let's make this one smaller than the card so that you can see what that looks like, because this is going to be the same concept where we're going to create this offset for the B. We're going to kind of do some slicing. We're going to do some attaching, and I'm going to show you how to do this. It's real easy. And especially with a letter, it's so simple, and it's really, really fun. So what I'm going to do here is let's take this little B, and we're going to, again, add the offset by getting that little tool thing, the little pencil. Now you have a lot more options here because font has the font tools in it, like centering and letter spacing, but we're not going to play with any of that right now. Now I do want to add an offset, of course, and I think that's a pretty good size for the offset for the B. So I'm going to click apply. Now again, what you're going to do is you're going to slice your offset from your square, and you can right click to grab slice, and we'll get rid of that. Now I want to get rid of the gray B only, and I want to get rid of the yellow B. So now you'll see that you have a hole where your bee sits, right? Again, we're going to add that shape to create that little bridge that's going to hold your bee in place. You don't need a really big one, but you do want a little bit thicker of a line for this one, just so that you have a little more holding that thicker letter on. Now, when you do this, I want you to be sure that you're not grabbing your score line, so you can hide it if that's easier for you, and then grab everything, or you can click the layers like I did before. Want to right click on this, go to combine and unite them. Now it's not going to look like it's anything spectacular right now. It just looks kind of boring. It's going to look cute though when you actually have this all cut out, because that bee is going to pop out from the top. You want to make sure to unhide the score line, and then I want you to get that to the top of your card, and then you're going to select both and you're going to attach them. Now, attach tells Cricut Design Space that we don't want it to move our line off of the card and to hold it in place. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom back out and unhide all of our pieces so that we can create these cards. So we have the leaf, which somehow looks a little weird. I'm going to hope that it cuts right. Sometimes it does weird things. Design Space has been having some issues. And then we have our turkey, and then we have our bee. So there's some different ways that you can do this. Now, like I said, I'm not sure what happened here. If it gets screwy, I'll redo it and have it cut the correct way. But from here, all we have to simply do now is make sure to save your design. And I'm going to save this as placeholder and click save. And then we just simply click make. Now it's going to take us to the screen, and I'll show you what it's going to look like. Maybe our leaf might have fixed itself. The leaf has not fixed itself. So something happened when we hid the leaf, because you saw that it was set up correctly. So I'll go back and fix that one before we cut. But for this purpose, let's just show you the different pieces. We have our brown pieces for our turkey, our orange pieces for our turkey. These are our little cards where we're going to write some names, and then we just have a bee here. And then we have our red for our turkey. So we're going to cut out all these parts. Like I said, I'll go back and fix the leaf and see what's going on there. And then we'll get everything cut out. We're just going to cut this on cardstock. You can use any cardstock that you have, any colors, any designs, anything you want to do is really easy. And I'll show you how to insert your pen as well. We are ready to cut out our cardstock for the place cards. So I've just cut out 2 small squares. I'm just going to flip my mat around to cut the other color. And then I have my other 2 colors over here. That way I'm not putting a whole piece of cardstock onto the mat. It'll just come off easier. And I'll do the same with the red. I'm going to cut that into a smaller piece as well. Now to cut the larger pieces of the place cards, we're going to need to do 2 things. The first thing is we're going to change out our fine point blade for our scoring stylus. And that's going to have a number 2 for the double scoring wheel, or a number 1 for the single. And again, you can do this with any of the machines. You can score with all of them. I'll link down below how to do it with your Joys. Next, we're going to insert the pen. Take the cap off. I always put the cap on the back. Open up clamp A, put your finger under the clamp, and then push your pen in until it clicks. Once it's clicked, close that clamp, and you can load in your mat with your cardstock. Now it's going to score first, then it will write, and then it'll prompt us to change out our tool for the fine point blade. Now once it's done doing that, it'll prompt you with the little flashing light to change out your scoring blade for your fine point tool here, and then we'll hit the go button again. Once it's done, go ahead and unload, and you're going to want to be gentle with these. You don't want to mess them up, so I do recommend flipping this over and peeling them off of your mat really carefully. And don't worry if like the center pieces, like these little thin lines, come with them. They'll come right off in just a second. But you want to just gently get these off. All right. Once I got those out, now we will show you kind of what they look like to get an idea of how they look. So let me move my machine, and then I'm going to show you how we fold these and how we assemble the turkey. But one thing is, make sure you take your pen out of your machine before you forget. Put that cap back on and store it away. That way it doesn't dry out. So the first one I'll show you really quick is the one that doesn't have the name on it. This is just the B. And all you do is fold it along the score line, which should be fairly easy to find, although I'm blind, so maybe not. Give me just a second here. I'm going to get it on the score line. Okay. There we go. Found the score line. And you can use like a bone folder or a squeegee or whatever you, what have you, to help you get a really nice fold. And then once you have that, this will sit up like a little tent card, and I'll give you a better view so you can see what these look like all set up. But now I want to assemble our turkey really quick, and then we'll fold everything and show you what they look like. So this is so simple. I'm just going to use a glue stick. Like, you don't have to do anything fancy. This will dry clear, so you won't see anything. It's a white color glue stick. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to put glue on my little turkey figure. And I'm going to get to the edges of that, and I want to get some on his feet, so I'm just going to kind of dab it. And then I'm going to use some tweezers to help me put the stuff down, because these are really tiny pieces, and I might have lost a foot. Oh no, did I lose a foot? I have to look for his other footy. His other footy's missing. If I can't find it, well, such is life. But I know I had 2 feet. I only have 1 foot now, but I'll look for the other one here in just a second. But I'm just going to pick this up with my tweezers, maybe. All right, pick that up with my tweezers, and then I'm just going to set that down right where his little footy should go. And you can move it around a little. That's the nice thing about this, and this might be on the wrong side. But yeah, I think I have that on the completely wrong side. We'll come back to the feet. They're going to make me mad. But now I can put his little body on. His little body just goes right here. Keep in mind there's a little offset, so he may not sit perfectly. And then you have his little nose, which we can very easily just dab a little glue on and put his nose in. Like I said, this is not a difficult project, and you can really do this with whatever images you have, want to use. Kids can get involved. This is just such a simple, fun process, and I will try to find his other foot. It is somewhere in this room. I don't know where. But again, if this isn't perfect, I'm not really worried about it. I don't know if this turkey's feathers sit a specific way or not. They look like they must. I don't know. I don't think that's right either. I'm going to put a little more glue. The glue kind of dried a little bit while I was looking for his foot. So I'm just going to dab some more glue on there. These really look the same both ways, but they just don't seem to fit both ways, which is a little frustrating. But you guys will get the idea. It's not perfect. I'm going to slide it around a little and see if I can get it to fit a little bit better, and then slide his body around a little bit, because I think his body's a little off of where it should be. Listen, it's not perfect. It's fine. It's totally fine. It's fine. Like I said, I lost his foot. I tried so hard not to lose his foot, and now I can't find it. I'm going to look for it, and I'll come right back. I found his little missing footy. Yay. Okay, so I can put his little footies back on. That's awesome. All I'm going to do, again, I'm just going to grab his foot, grab his foot and put a little glue on it. And then I will put it on to the paper. Again, if it's not perfect, whatever. It's fine. Grab his foot. If I was actually doing this to like put on my table, I would take a little more care, but currently he's just making me mad because I lost his foot and he's not fitting quite right. There we go. And then I just need to fix his nose, but if I can't grab it and slide it over. Oh, there we go. Okay, let's fix his nose. Now I'm going to let him dry off to the side now that we've assembled him. And then I'll fold the leaf one really quick so you can see that. So again, you'll find where your score line is on this, which let me just tell you, doing this on white paper, very, very difficult. And I don't think it's scored really well with that scoring stylus or scoring wheel this time. I don't think I had it fully seated. But you want to be careful that you're not folding the leaf when you're folding this down. So I usually will start with like the smaller edge. I'm just going to get that lined up and I'll fold that down. And then I'm going to go with this side. And again, I do have score lines. They're just very difficult to see. I can semi-see them if I get it in just the right light. Now again, make sure you're not folding down the leaf. And then I'm going to use my squeegee and just run it across so I get a nice crispy line. And then now it'll sit up like a tent, even with the like little leg over here. And I know you can't see that, but I will get these all set up for you so you can see, but I do want to let this one dry for just a little bit so that it doesn't ruin our turkey when I go to fold it. I hope that you will try making your own place cards. They're so fun, so easy, and you can make them for any occasion. So don't feel like you're just stuck with some fancy occasion. Make them for fun for your family one night. They're really easy, and you can make them in any theme that you want to. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments down below. I'll link everything I used in this video in the video's description. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and as always, happy crafting.